Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Monday, November 10th. We have all you need to know about changes to Penn State trustee bylaws, as well as more on a special trip for a Bellefonte team.
We also have the latest information on flight cancellations across the country, along with sports, entertainment, and an interview. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Christian Audia.
And I'm Cailey Thalman. Center County had its highest number of voters turn out for Tuesday's municipal election in more than 30 years. Over 44,000 voters cast their ballots of about 102,000 registered voters, amounting to an over 43% turnout rate. Over 12,000 voters used mail-in ballots, and over 32,000 voters cast their ballots on Election Day. The high-profile statewide judicial retention elections, particularly for the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, likely drove the high voter turnout. All three Democratic justices retained their positions for another 10 years.
The 2026 Center LifeLink EMS campaign is now underway. Each fall, Center Region residents are encouraged to enroll to ensure they won't have any out-of-pocket costs for emergency ambulance services from Center LifeLink EMS. Memberships start at $75 for individuals and $95 for families. Funds raised through the 2026 membership drive will help Center LifeLink replace critical life-saving equipment. Residents will receive membership brochures by mail, and registration is also available online at centerlifelink.com.
Penn State trustees approved revisions to their bylaws on Thursday, including eliminating the option for write-in trustee candidates and further limiting trustees from speaking to the press. The full board voted on the matter in its meeting on Friday. The change states trustees, quote, shall coordinate all media and press interactions relating to the matter that have come before the board with the board office in advance and shall respect guidance regarding such interactions that might be conveyed by that office or the Office of Strategic Communications, end quote. During the full board meeting on Friday, trustee Anthony Lubrano was the only one to oppose the changes, saying he believes, quote, their speech shouldn't be limited more than it has already been limited, end quote.
A Bellefonte teen is celebrating a major victory overcoming leukemia with the fishing trip of his dreams. 14-year-old Reese Stewart was diagnosed with leukemia last August and spent 6 months in treatment. After ringing the bell to mark the end of his fight in April, Reese got to fulfill his wish through Make-A-Wish Greater Pennsylvania and West Virginia. He also received the support of the Bellefonte community as they raised more than $10,000 through a GoFundMe campaign. His family caught 33 fish during the day-long adventure, which his mom called the perfect day. If you were outside in State College this past weekend, you know the weather was really, really nice, but today it was freezing. Student meteorologist Jonathan Domo is live in the studio with this week's forecast. Jonathan?
You're absolutely right, Christian. If you're outside right now, we are sitting at 30 degrees here in Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania rather, which is incredibly different than what we were seeing during the Penn State football game versus Indiana, where we were seeing temperatures much higher than that right now. But the feels like, pay attention to the feels like, 21 degrees, and that's primarily due to that wind coming out of the west-northwest at 12 miles per hour. That is bringing down the feels like temperature. And if we take a look at the rest of Pennsylvania here, you can see a stark temperature gradient from Philadelphia up to the northwestern corner here in Erie right now, 32 degrees in Erie, 42 in Philadelphia, with a couple of sub-30 temperatures sprinkled in between here, 22 in Bradford. And let's take a look here at the wind gusts right now, 10 miles per hour out of the west-northwest here in Center County, but as high as 23 coming off the water here up in Erie. And that is really bringing down the feels like temperature. Now, associated with all of that west-northwest movement is this lake effect snow we can see coming down from Lake Erie. That was bringing us flurries all the way from early this morning until now. If you're out and about, you're probably seeing a couple of snowflakes. And speaking of lake effect snow, the lake effect snow machine is firing on all cylinders right now, with all of the Great Lakes producing lake effect snow, which happens when colder air moves over the warmer waters of the Great Lakes, which causes instability and eventually precipitation. And because the air is so cold, that precipitation falls as snow here. But how's the rest of the evening going to shape up? Well, as we look ahead into Tuesday, we can see some scattered snow showers, mostly in the northern tier of Pennsylvania. And as you're waking up and out the door tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., we should be clear of any snow, but as the day moves on, that will change. We'll have more flurries throughout the day. But as we shift towards 8 p.m. tomorrow, that is when we can really see the snow kind of back off. We'll still be seeing some clouds up in the sky, but a lot less snow. And then looking ahead into Wednesday, we can see the lake effect precipitation will continue, but you'll notice there's a lot more green than there is blue. That's because warmer temperatures will cause the precipitation to switch over from rain rather than snow. Now, if we look even further, we're going to start here on Thursday. You can see much of the activity will be centered in mostly northern New England as well as parts of southern Canada here. But as we move through on Friday, we'll be mostly clear. Actually, early Friday morning, clouds will start to build back in. The precipitation will move off east before another front will move through that will bring primarily rain, not snow. That is because the temperatures will be almost in the 50s, mid to high 50s on Saturday through the weekend, which is going to keep our precipitation type towards rain. But as we cool back off on Monday, that's when we'll see it start to switch over in northern parts of Pennsylvania as well as central New York. But we will be most likely snow-free here in central Pennsylvania. But exactly how much are we going to get? Well, we're not going to see a whole lot of accumulation from the snow. Most of that will be up towards the north here in Burlington, Vermont will be the hot spot of that here in the United States, with Canada also seeing significant snow totals. But as the rain moves through this weekend, Sunday into Monday, that's where we're going to pick up near quarter of an inch here in State College. But again, Burlington, Vermont will see the bulk of precipitation, almost 2 inches here in Burlington, Vermont, just over an inch up in Ottawa, Canada. Now, let's see how the rest of the evening will shape up here. We're going to be sitting at 30 to 30 in the next couple of minutes here, but as we approach the late evening hours and early tomorrow, we'll dip down low below the 30s. And exactly how cold are we going to get? Well, conditions will take a dip down to 25 degrees, mostly cloudy. And again, that feels like we'll be well below 20 into the teens, even possibly single digits with a westerly wind, 14 miles per hour here in central Pennsylvania. But tomorrow will bring a little bit more of relief, relatively speaking, where we'll see temperatures rebound to 37. We are above freezing, but again, it will be windy, and it will be windier tomorrow than it was today. 21 miles per hour out of the west. And mind you, this is wind speeds, not wind gusts. Wind gusts will be much higher than that, potentially into the upper 30s, which will bring the feels like down again into the teens. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast. You can see that warming up trend starts as early as Thursday, where it will be partly cloudy to end out the week before we return to the 50s, low 50s on Friday. Those clouds will continue into the weekend, where we hit 57 on Sunday, but that is when that rain chance moves in, and we'll still be feeling the effects of that lingering rain chance on Monday, where we take a dip back down to 46. Christian?
Thanks, Jonathan. Now over to Kenny with the latest in the world of sports.
Thanks, Christian. I'm Kennedy Rivers with your sports update. Penn State football returned home on Saturday after back-to-back losses on the road against Iowa and Ohio State. This was interim head coach Terry Smith and quarterback Ethan Grunkemeier's first game at home since stepping into their new role. Before the game, the Nittany Lions were 15-2 in matchup history against the Hoosiers, and Indiana has never beat Penn State at Beaver Stadium. However, things change after Indiana picks up a nail-biting win 27-24. The Nittany Lions go on the road to face against Michigan State on Saturday at 3:30. Men's basketball is off to a hot 2-0 start to the 2025 season. On Saturday, they hit the road to face off against New Haven. This is the first time these two teams have faced off. The score was 41-21 coming out of the half, and the Nittany Lions gained even more momentum from back-to-back three-pointers from Josh Reed and Eli Rice. With an 87-43 victory, Penn State earned the largest road victory in 50 years. Men's basketball will host Navy tomorrow night at 6:30 in the BJC. The Cleveland Guardians pitcher Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz are facing some legal trouble. Both were charged with fraud, conspiracy, and bribery, and an indictment accusing them of betting schemes that scheme back to May of 2023. Each intentional pitch ranged from $5,000 to $7,000, letting the gamblers win hundreds of thousands of dollars. Ortiz has been arrested as of Sunday morning and will show up in courts while Clause A is still at large. If convicted, both could face up to 65 years in jail. The New York Giants fired their head coach Brian Daboll this morning after a 2-8 start to the 2025 season. In 2022, Daboll won the NFL Coach of the Year after his first season with the New York Giants and took them to the playoffs, but haven't made back to the playoffs since then. Daboll's firing came after the Giants' tendency to blow the late game leads and being on 0-6 on the road. Offensive coordinator and former assistant head coach Mike Kafka will serve as the Giants' interim head coach for the last 8 weeks. That's all for your sports update. After the break, Anna Knight has the latest in the world of entertainment. Stay tuned.
Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News.
Penn State Network News is a student-produced, bi-weekly live news show featuring all student talent.
From local and national news to sports, entertainment, weather, and live interviews, we have it all.
We also feature student-made packages from across campus.
Airing every Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m.
We are PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State. Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Anna Knight with your entertainment update. Tomorrow from 6 to 8:30, the Social Dance Club is hosting salsa lessons on the Hub Lawn stage. Classes are taught by Penn State students. In the first 90 minutes are for lessons, while the remainder is for social dancing to music. You can come with a partner, or if you're on your own, they'll pair you up with someone. It doesn't matter if you dance for years or have no experience. Beginner and intermediate lessons are taught at the same time to accommodate whichever one you're at. We have exciting news in the world of shows. Six the Musical live on Broadway is coming to Penn State. From November 18th to the 20th, you'll be able to watch this global sensation in Eisenhower Auditorium. The musical won the 2022 Tony Award for Original Score, and the Six live on opening night Broadway album debuted at #1 on the Billboard Cast Album charts. Will there even be an American Sign Language opportunity offered for the November 20th performance? Say goodbye to Oof, Boof, It Bake On, and hello to Bubba's. Reporter Carly Marnage checked out the new State College restaurant. Carly?
Thanks, Anna. An iconic diner location on South Garner Street in State College has been restored and just opened as Bubba's Egg Steaks and Shakes. We visited the new restaurant to catch a glimpse and hear from the owner. Let's take a look.
If you're looking for breakfast, lunch, or even dinner, Bubba's Egg Steaks and Shakes has just recently opened on 131 South Garner Street in downtown State College.
This historic diner location dates back to 1987, where it started as Baby's Burgers and Shakes, and later moved on in 2022 to become a French-inspired diner before closing this past summer. Owner and head chef of Bubba's, Brian Stroh, went to the diner 3 days after reading about the closure in the Center Daily Times. Stroh has been in the restaurant industry for 15 years, where he previously operated Daily Grind Coffee Company in Altoona. He's certainly no stranger to the Penn State community because he says he loved visiting State College as a kid. Now he's restoring a town classic into a family-owned business, and customers are already loving it.
Today I got the breakfast spread. Back home, I usually go to the diners in Jersey, and they have good breakfast spreads, and I thought this compares really well.
Bubba serves the perfect classic breakfast with eggs and omelets, along with specialty items like French toast, flavored pancakes, and chicken and waffles. They're starting their hours at 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily, so be sure to check it out if you're feeling hungry and in the State College area. It'll certainly be exciting to see how Bubba's continues to grow and serve amazing food to the Penn State community. Back to you, Anna.
Thanks, Carly. In national news, the 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony took place this past weekend at 8 p.m. in the Peacock Theater in LA. The inductees included artists like Salt and Peppa, Outkast, Cyndi Lauper, and White Stripes. In addition to the inductees, there were also several performances from musicians across genres, including Avril Lavigne, Chappell Roan, and Elton John. If you didn't get the chance to watch, the whole ceremony was streamed live on Disney+, so you can catch some of your favorite artist performances. The 2026 Grammy nominations came out this past Friday. They are led by Los Angeles rapper Kendrick Lamar with 9 Grammy nominations. This isn't the first time he's achieved something like this. Earlier this year, he took home more golden gramophones than any other artist. The 68th Annual Grammy Awards will be held on February 1st, 2026, and competition for the top awards will also include Lady Gaga, Sabrina Carpenter, and Bad Bunny. Stay tuned to see if your favorite artists will win. That's all for your entertainment update. Coming up next, interview anchor Quinn O'Leary will be speaking with Joey Harinsky, a student filmmaker. Stay tuned.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night.
For all of us here at the Belisari Media Center, we are
Penn State Sports Night.
Ready, mics? 3, 2, fade in on 2, mic and cue.
This is Nittany Talk.
I would say spring.
Slow down.
When he knew that, how do you think? I know. She continues to hold her values and everything though, and I think that that's really important. So yeah, self-care Saturday.
And you lose a lot of sleep.
Yes, agreed.
Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News.
Penn State Network News is a student-produced, bi-weekly live news show featuring all student talent.
From local and national news to sports, entertainment, weather, and live interviews, we have it all.
We also feature student-made packages from across campus.
Airing every Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m.
We are PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State. Hey everyone, welcome to Culture Central. My name is Jaden Stewart,
What's good, everybody? My name is Eric Pichardo, and we are your hosts
creators.
and executive producers of Culture Central. Is this Whitney Houston?
We're doing things that have never been done before. So welcome to the family.
Hey everyone, we are Red Carpet News, your main source of entertainment news at Penn State University.
Man, this festival is going to be popping.
I'm Alex Porzillo, here with Aiden Harrell.
He's going to 23rd with Daddy Elon Warbucks to actual space away from Kim.
So insane, especially during Kendrick's part when they came out, reporting on anything from music, movies, TV shows, fashion, to celebrity gossip. You don't want to miss out on any of the hot topics we discuss.
Find our segments on YouTube under the name Red Carpet News for your daily dose of entertainment.
We are Red Carpet News.
If you don't include human beings, you cannot accurately model the way the climate has changed over the last 50 years.
And I don't know that we're ever going to be free of some sort of bug.
A natural state of motion for something to be in is to remain in its current state of motion.
Been lucky enough to discover various things out there. Pulsars, exoplanets, and some other phenomena that ended up being interesting.
Hi, I'm Johnson Gary with Asking Penn State.
With Asking Penn State,
Asking Penn State.
Asking Penn State. Asking Penn State.
Welcome back to Asking Penn State.
It's lights, camera, and action at the desk today. Cut to Joey Horinsky, a Penn State film student in the spotlight for writing and directing his very own film. Joey, welcome to PSN News. I'm excited to speak with you today. So to begin, how did you get interested in film in the first place?
I kind of just always knew I wanted to be in film since I was like 7 years old or something. It was just kind of the only thing that ever really spoke to me. So, I couldn't see myself doing anything else. And I'm glad that's what I'm pursuing.
That's cool that you got interested in it at such a young age. Yeah. And obviously you're here at Penn State taking the next step in your career. What's your experience been like with the film program so far?
The program last year to this year, it's increased greatly. It's a lot better. They got in a bunch of new professors. They got us a bunch of new equipment. The only real issue with the program is that it starts your junior year. So you're cramming a lot in. And because Penn State's kind of designed for students that come here not really knowing what they want to do, a lot of the students that come here like knowing they want to be in film are suffering because of that. But otherwise, it's been really great. The professors are great. It's, each class is great, and they're taking steps to make it better. So it's been a lot more enjoyable this year.
That's great. And I think even though you have to wait a little bit, it seems like you've been able to jump in, head first and really do some amazing things so far, right?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah. So can you walk us through what the full process of filmmaking looks like before something even hits the big screen? Because I'm sure a lot of us don't even know.
So basically we start out with you pitch an idea, you pitch it to, at least here, you pitch in your class to the professor. You start writing a script for it. Once that's done, you reach out to crew, to cast, put out casting calls through websites and stuff. And then you gather everyone together, you find a location, and you just shoot the thing.
Wow. So obviously a long process, but to create a really good final product. So you just wrote and directed a film for class here at Penn State, which was selected by your professor to move to final production. Can you give us a synopsis of your film called From Above?
So the film takes place in rural Pennsylvania, rural Appalachia, just poor small town America. And basically it's about this town, and randomly one day these lights appear in the sky and they're not doing anything. They're just kind of there. And yet the fear of whatever they could be kind of drives the people in the town crazy. It makes them scared. So the whole film is basically one town hall meeting in a church talking about what they should do. And everyone out of their own fear and insecurity kind of turns on each other. And it escalates beyond just the main factor as the lights.
Yeah, I read your script. It's so interesting. I was captivated immediately. So what inspired the story in the first place?
It's inspired by a lot of things, mainly The Twilight Zone, the TV show from the 50s. I'm a really big fan of it. There's an episode called The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street, which is similarly about a town that's worried about potential aliens or whatever, and they kind of turn on each other. But I tried to take a different twist on it, a different spin. It's also just kind of inspired by films of the 80s, the Spielberg, alien movies, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, E.T., stuff like that.
Awesome. And so what do you hope the viewers will take away from this project? I read it. I definitely took some themes away. So what do you hope everyone else takes away?
Well, it's kind of about the political divide in America. It's what certain political ideologies have done to small town America and how that's kind of driven everyone against each other. So I hope people look at that and they take that away. I also hope people just have a good time watching it. We're entertainers at the end of the day, everyone I work with. So that's really what we're trying to do, is entertain people.
Absolutely. And from my understanding, you had some actors come from some faraway places to contribute to your film. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So when we were casting, here in State College. It's very difficult to find people professional actors or whatever. So I sent out a call on this website called Backstage, and it went out to Pittsburgh, to Philly. I had people audition from New York and DC, and I had a guy audition from Florida. I know. But all these people auditioned, and I picked the best ones, and luckily they were all willing to drive out. They were all willing to just kind of do it for love of the game. It's a student film. Everyone's unpaid. But yeah, they were really great, the cast I had.
I'm just so amazed because it's a student film, but obviously still a very professional process to get to the final product. So what would you say were the biggest victories of the day and also the biggest challenges?
Well, for starters, even before that, finding a location was very difficult. I mean, there's 100 churches around here, but it was really difficult to find one that would let us film there. I'd say the biggest challenge was we were on such a time constraint. So trying to get everything done, or the knowledge that I have to get everything done today, was weighing on me. But I had such a great crew. My cinematographer, Jake Doherty, my assistant director, Bree Starling, my producer, Barrett Moynihan. everyone was really locked in on what we needed to do, and we got through the entire scene in one day. Yeah, it was just great. It was a lot of fun. The set was a lot of fun. We were efficient. We moved well. It was a great time.
That's great. So what existing films have inspired your professional journey thus far?
I'd say mostly the works of like Steven Spielberg. I'm really a big fan of the way he combines like heart and action and sci-fi in a lot of his movies. The movie Boyhood, it's a really great movie by Richard Linklater. And Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Oh, and Back to the Future. That's a great one.
Very great picks, obviously. I'm surprised you're not wearing the life vest.
No, the big one.
Yes. So I want to go back to a previous point. So your film got selected out of a number of films that were submitted in your class. Can you walk me through that, what that process is like?
So basically, it's Com 338. It's intro to or not intro. It's just narrative production. Basically, everyone goes in on one day, and you all pitch a certain project or an idea you have, and then the class votes on their top 4 favorites, and those 4 are chosen. And then after that, everyone in the class applies for which project they want to work on, what position they want, and then that's how you get your main crew. Outside of that, you have to send out a crew call. So I had a bunch of younger students and people even in different majors like broadcast journalism work on my project. It was really nice.
Awesome. Well, a little fun way to close this out. What's a movie that everyone else loves that you hate?
I don't know if there's a movie that everyone loves that I hate. And I don't know if I don't like hate these movies, but I don't think the Harry Potter movies are all that good. After the first one's great, but after that, it's kind of like iffy.
You heard it here first, folks. Well, Joey, thank you so much for joining us today and telling us more about your experience as a student filmmaker. Now, stick around because coming up next, Cailey and Christian will have the latest news from across the nation.
Ready, mics? 3, 2, fade in on 2, mic and cue.
This is Nittany Talk.
I would say spring.
Slow down.
When he knew that, how do you say
I know.
she like continues to hold her values and everything though, and I think that that's really important. So yeah, and self-care Saturday.
And you lose a lot of sleep.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Bye.
Hey everyone, welcome to Culture Central. My name is Jaden Stewart.
What's good, everybody? My name is Eric Pichardo, and we are your hosts,
creators,
and executive producers of Culture Central. Is this Whitney Houston?
We're doing things that have never been done before, so welcome to the family.
If you don't include human beings, you cannot accurately model the way the climate has changed over the last 50 years.
And I don't know that we're ever going to be free of some sort of bug.
A natural state of motion for something to be in is to remain in its current state of motion.
Been lucky enough to discover various things out there. Pulsars, exoplanets, and some other phenomena that ended up being interesting.
Hi, I'm Johnson Gary with Asking Penn State.
Of Asking Penn State, Asking Penn State.
Asking Penn State. Asking Penn State.
Welcome back to Asking Penn State.
Airlines cut over 1,000 flights on Friday, largely due to the government shutdown. More canceled flights are likely coming throughout the week to comply with the Federal Aviation Administration's order to reduce service at the nation's busiest airports. This order is in response to air traffic controllers who haven't been paid in nearly a month. There are 40 airports targeted by the slowdown, including major hubs in Atlanta, Charlotte, and Dallas. International flights are not expected to be affected.
The community of Louisville, Kentucky is in mourning after a UPS cargo plane crashed and exploded shortly after taking off Tuesday evening, killing at least 12 people. Investigators say the plane's left wing caught fire and an engine detached before it went down near Louisville's Muhammad Ali International Airport. The National Transportation Safety Board is leading the investigation, working to determine what caused the fire and the engine failure. 2 people remain in critical condition, and officials say the death toll could rise.
Dallas Cowboys defensive end 24-year-old Marshawn Kneeland was found dead of an apparent suicide after escaping authorities, fleeing the scene of an accident on foot. On Thursday, Frisco police said they're investigating the suicide. As authorities were looking for Nealand, dispatchers told officers that people who knew him said they had received a group text from him saying goodbye. His girlfriend told police he was armed and had a history of mental illness. He was found early Thursday morning, about 3 hours after the crash, dead due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced Thursday she will not seek re-election to Congress, marking the end of her 4-decade career representing San Francisco. Pelosi, the first ever woman to serve as Speaker, said in a video message she'll finish her career current term and urge voters to know your power and stay engaged in democracy. During her tenure, Pelosi helped guide major legislation, including the Affordable Care Act, and led the House during 2 impeachments of current President Donald Trump. Her decision opens a race for California's 11th congressional district ahead of the 2026 elections. Now over to Anna Castro with the latest in international news.
Thanks, Christian. I'm Anna Castro with your international news update. Canada is no longer measles-free. International health experts say the country has lost its elimination status due to ongoing outbreaks. As childhood vaccination rates fall, the highly contagious virus is spreading across North and South America. Canada has logged over 5,000 measles cases this year and 2 deaths. Both were babies who were exposed to the measles virus in the womb and born prematurely. The World Health Organization says that measles is one of the leading causes of death among children. United Nations climate talks began today on the edge of the Brazilian Amazon in Belém. Leaders are pushing to accelerate efforts to curb global warming by drastically reducing the carbon pollution that causes it. This year's talks are centered around implementation. Countries are tasked with showing their updated national plans to fight climate change. Top U.S. negotiators were absent today. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Anna. That concludes our show tonight at PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.